Hey everybody, Stevie here with Hard Truth Radio. So it is that time again. We are going to unbox the Elisha story expansion. So, deck already built, ready to rock and roll. Let's dive into it. However, before we dive into it, let's read scripture from 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 12. When he could see him no longer, he took hold of his clothes, tore them in two, picked up the mantle that had fallen off Elijah, and went back and stood on the bank of the Jordan. He took the mantle Elijah had dropped, and he struck the water. "Where is the Lord God of Elijah?" he asked. He struck the water himself, and it parted to the right and the left, and Elisha crossed over. When the sons of the prophets from Jericho who were observing saw him, they said, "The spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha." They came to meet him and bowed down to the ground in front of him. So, prior to this, the prophet Elijah, yes, one of my favorite prophets who mocked the priests of Baal in 2 Samuel. And long story short, he had the priests of Baal sit up there, altar over here. Hey, call your God down to consume the sacrifice. Hours, days passed. Nothing. And so the priests of Baal started cutting on themselves, and Elisha dug a trench, filled it with water. He then doused the whole offering with water and had the Lord sent down a pillar of fire and consumed the offering. Just a complete smackdown. I love that story. So this mantle is now passed to Elisha, who is the next prophet of Israel. So, before we open this also, we have two specialty cards. The first one is She-Bear. A whole whopping 22 faithful points. And again, the artwork, they do a really good job. I gotta say this every single time about the Logos trading card game. They do a great job on the artwork. And the verse with this one, from there Elisha went up to Bethel, and as he was walking up the road, a group of boys came out of the city and jeered at him, chanting, "Go up, you bald head. Go up, you bald head." Then he turned around, looked at them, and called down a curse on them in the name of the Lord. Suddenly, 2 female bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the boys. Also, this card's special effect, called by Elijah. When Elisha takes any action, She-Bear may also take an action on any card revealed on the faithful timeline. So, double whammy right there. The other card is a release from the creator, and it is Unicorn. This is in memory to his daughter. This is not my story to share, but I will say, as a father of a young woman, I cried my eyes out. So if anybody's interested on the story, it is very touching. You can find it on Facebook. He tells the whole story, and his faith, even during such a hard time, is awe-inspiring, and as a father, heart is with you, brother. So, we got those two special cards that came with this one, so let's get to open it. And again, as I said, this one is already an already built deck. It's already ready for play. You just got to sleeve it. And as I mentioned on the last reveal, sleeving cards is such a pain in the butt, but it's worth it. Especially when you have little kids who like to touch them, and then you don't have to worry about the card getting damaged. So, all right. So, first one we have is a faithful servant girl for a whole 6. We then have a Levite, again for 3. Karite for 5. Oh, and this one actually has a special effect. Guard, instant. If a King Faithful is in play, you may discard this Faithful to cancel any effect that would impact the Faithful card. Nice. We then have a Temple Guard, a Slinger. We have a She-Bear for 3. This one, however, has a different, not only a different Faithful count, but it also has a different action, +2 if Elisha is in play. So if Elisha's in play, that little son of a gun gets 5. All right. I'm going to butcher that name, so I'm not even going to start. We have a 4. This one gets +3 if Jedediah is in play. We have Ishmael for 5, who gets +5 if Jedediah is in play. We have another character for 8. We have a Shumanite woman, 7 faithful points, and her effect is whenever a support card is put in play, refresh top, refresh up to +3 to any faithful in play. That'll definitely come in handy. All right. We then also have Young Prophet, who gets 8. His effect is Prophet for Elisha. When Elisha is refreshed, refresh Young Prophet by half the total of faithful points. Nice. We have Naaman. We then now have Joash for 12, who also gets, he gets +8 if Jedediah is in play. Very nice. Now we have Jedediah for 10. When Jedediah is put into play, you may search your faithful deck for a faithful. Shuffle the deck, then place the faithful card face down on top. Very nice. That can come in handy. We have a Widow for 8. When Widow is put into play, you may search the encounter deck for a support card and put it in your hand, then shuffle the deck. That one goes very well. If I've got to now flash back over, there's, the Shunammite woman. Those two will go very well together. Play off of each other. Then we have Jehoshabeth for 28. Hide the Air. When Jehoshabeth is in play, any King Faithful is immune to the effect of any shadow cards. Haven't even looked to see what the shadow cards are with this one, but be interesting. We have another She-Bear. This one's also 22, and it matches the same effect as the special release one. Called by Elisha. When Elisha takes any action, She-Bear may also take an action on any card revealed on the Faithful timeline. Now we have the man, the myth, the legend. We have Elisha, 30. Dang. Double portion. Elisha can engage 2 times with the Faith timeline per turn. Double the hits. And plus, matching that with the She-Bear, you then have 52. And that's only if you have one in play. What if you had both of the, Now we're seeing where my head's at. Naaman's Servants. Play this card on any location. When an action is taken on this location, add +1 to the action taken. If any trap is revealed, remove Naaman's Servants from play. We also have Eunuchs. Very nice. Play this card on any location. During the encounter reveal, any player may choose to discard a revealed Faithless on Eunuchs location along with discarding Eunuchs, then end their turn. Okay. So it's a nice little save right there. All right. We have an Armenian raider. You then have Jeering Boy. You have Moabite for 5. You then have another Moabite for 8. Again, I always want to comment. The artwork that they do on these cards is always fantastic. Always. You have Armenian Berserker for 7 and gets +3 if Joash is in play. We have Son of Abib for a whole 2. We then have Naaman for 9. We have a Baal Priest. King Mahesh. Rebelled. As long as King Mahesh is in play, if there are less than 3 locations on the Faith timeline, draw another location and add it to the Faith timeline. Dang. That one can definitely throw you for a loop if you're on a roll. Matan. When a trap card is revealed, reset all tokens on Matan. 10. Oh, I'm definitely going to butcher this name. But we have another king. 13. We have Ghazi, who's 11 and gets +4 if Naaman is in play. So if Naaman's in play already on the board, then he gets another +4, and that's 15 plus Naaman's 10. That'd be a difficult one to... I'm going to butcher this one too. She gets 29. While she is in play on the Faith timeline, any neutral card revealed or in play are shuffled back into the encounter deck and cannot be played from a player's hand. King Hazael for 26. Treachery. When revealed, if there are any other Faithless in play, King Hazael is immune to any card or effect until all Faithless are cleared. So you can't wipe this one out until everything else on the board is wiped. And that's 26. Alright. We have another king. It's short, but I'm still going to butcher it. And he gets 32. When he is in play on the Faithful timeline, any trap card is revealed on any location or shuffled back into the encounter deck rather than discarded. That can really... we haven't even seen the trap cards yet, and I'm not looking forward to them. Alright, now we got to the encounter side. 2 she-bears. 8. Joash becomes king. 13. But also, when this card is revealed, if Joash is not in play, search your Faithful deck and put Joash in play, then shuffle your deck. Okay. I can get behind that, because what was Joash? Alright, that encounter's 13. Going back. Joash is 12, but if Jedediah is in play, that's +8. Nice. Really like this one because they have a lot of cards that work together, so as long as your shuffle comes out in your favor, you're good. Ghazi's Deception. Draw any additional location card and add to the Faith timeline. And just remember, when you're playing the game, if you're already at 5 locations on the board and this little guy comes up, you just lost. Can't have more than 6 locations on the board. God Heals Naaman. When this card is cleared, refresh any of the player's Faithful up to the card cost. Fixed His Gaze. Multiplied the Bread. You may use this card to refresh your Faith pool. Nice. Siege. Moab's Rebellion. This is another one that throws another location card on the board. Again, repeating myself, kicking that dead horse. If you already have 5, one more, game over. Famine in the Land. Seeking Elijah. This one, search the encounter deck for any card and remove it by placing it in your hand or discarding. Ditches in the Valley. Draw an additional location and add it to the Faith timeline. The Axe Head Floats. You may use this card to refresh the Faith pool to match the amount of one of your faithful in play. Wickedness of Joash. 16 to clear. Double Portion. This is another one that adds, refreshes your Faith pool. The Widow's Oil for 13. The Death of Jezebel. When this card is cleared, you may discard one Faithless on this card's location. Nice. Live as a Foreigner. Draw an additional location. Again, difficult ones to beat. Ooh, 27. Hard to wipe that one off the board. There's some really big hitters in this one. Chariots of Fire. When Chariots of Fire is played, every player may refresh up to 3 for every faithful in play, then end your turn. Really love the artwork on it. And the verse comes from 2 Kings 6:16 through 17. Do not be afraid, Elisha answered, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Then Elisha prayed, O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw that the hills were full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. The Lord is with us, guys. Eye of the She-Bear. Instant. Play this card upon the initial reveal of the Faithless. To discard that Faithless, discard this card, then end player's turn without drawing Faithful. Alright, now we got the trap cards. Leprosy. Upon reveal, every active faithful loses 2 faith tokens. If their faith pool is empty, shuffle them back into the faithful deck. At least it doesn't say discard. Famine. Upon reveal, every faithful loses 2 faith tokens in their faith pool and empty and shuffle them back in the faithful deck. Wild Gourd. Trap. Upon reveal, any faithful in play with a faith amount less than 5 is discarded. Poisonous Stew. This card goes into effect upon the next player's turn. The next revealed faithful is discarded instead of added to the player's hand. Annihilation. Upon reveal, any king faithful in play or in player's hand are discarded. We then have Murderous Rage. The total faith of each faithful in play is reduced by 1 every round. Any faithful that reaches 0 is discarded. Shadow effect ends when any 3 cards are cleared. That one will bleed you dry a little bit. Putrid Waters. While this shadow effect is in play, all faithful cards are refreshed at half of their total. Shadow effect ends when a water location is cleared. Famine. For each location with a neutral card in play or revealed, add +5 to that location. Shadow effect ends when 2 events are cleared. Siege. While this shadow effect is in play, the last active location cannot be engaged. Cards are still placed during the encounter reveal. Shadow effect ends when 3 faithless are cleared. Ooh, now we got the support cards. We got the Donkey, which we've gotten in previous packs. Play this card on any faithful. They engage the faith timeline ×2 on their turn. After their turn, Donkey is discarded. Water, another support. Play this on any land location. No faithless cards may be placed and are discarded instead. Jar of Oil. Play this on any land location on your turn. When a card with a cost is revealed in this location, refresh the faith pool of any faithful equal to that card's cost, not exceeding the faithful max. New Bull. Play this card on any water location. No faithless cards may be placed and are discarded instead. Barley Bread. Play this card on any land location on your turn. When a card with a cost is revealed in this location, refresh the faith pool of one of your faithful equal to the card's cost. Camel. We've gotten this one before as well. Play this card on any faithless to cut their cost in half. Discard when the faithless is no longer in play. Cloak of Elisha. Attach this to any faithful. Whenever they engage with the faith timeline, they may spend faith tokens a second time on the location, on a water location. All right, Elisha's Staff. Attached to any prophet or prophetess. Once during your turn, you may pay 3 tokens to return a card from the discard pile into any player's hand. Some good team building there. Bones of Elisha. Play this card on any location. When the faithless is discarded from this location, you may search your faithful deck for a card, then shuffle the deck. All right, now we get to the land cards. Ooh. This is going to get interesting towards the end. All right, going to butcher this one. Water location for 11. Desert of Edom for 9. Far River for 9. Going to butcher it again. 8. Damascus for 14. Baal Shahala, I'm just going to butcher it, for 5. Gilgal, for 10. Ramoth Gilead, for 14. Shinum, for 13. Ditches of Edom, for 21. Dothan, for 22. Mount Carmel, 18. Now is where it gets interesting. Temple, and I'm going to butcher it again, for 36. Waters of Jericho, for 29. And the last one, Desert of Edom, for 30. Well, all right, guys. Well, again, if you guys are interested in this deck, I recommend you go to our friends at Logos. Their website is logosthegame.com. Season 2. This is part of the Season 2 stack, so you guys can get that. The delivery time is very quick. You'll have it in no time. Also, guys, they announced that they're coming out with Season 3. So, it's a fantastic time, and we really appreciate our friends at Logos for giving us the chance to share this product, because, guys, if you guys are new to your faith and want to learn and dive into the Word a little bit more, this is a fun way to do it. Guys, if you also have young kids that are getting into the Word a little bit, or if you're just trying to get Magic the Gathering out of your house, definitely a good substitute, and it's great. Patrick and I have played it a couple times. We enjoy this game thoroughly. Me and my lovely lady play it. Also, when, the women are watching their shows on the TV and they're not letting you watch basketball or football, it's a good substitute to do in the chair, so that way you can still spend time with the family and play a game. Because again, this game you can play solo or with people. So, guys, remember to join us on Hard Truth Radio as Patrick and I continue to dive into the Word of God. Right now, we're in the book of Judges. Guys, it's a good time. We're almost at Samson. So, hopefully you guys can join us for that. We record every Tuesday. We do live streaming on TikTok, and we also post everything on our Facebook page and YouTube, and you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and pretty much everything that you can listen to podcasts on. So, you guys remember to stand firm in the Word, stand firm in prayer. You guys be blessed, and we love you.